Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
So we are officially at day number 9 of Diddy's explosive federal trial, and things are about to heat up even more. So today, all eyes will be on Kid Cudi, Cassie's ex-boyfriend, who's expected to testify about the infamous car explosion, an alleged act of retaliation by Diddy, fueled by jealousy after Cassie started seeing the rapper Diddy himself once suggested she collaborate with musically. Kid Cudi is one of 5 witnesses the government plans to introduce to us today. Another witness happens to be a male hotel worker. But before we get into that, let's rewind and break down what went down on day number 8 of the trial. Yesterday, we heard more from Special Agent Gerard Ganning, who was part of the Homeland Security raid on Diddy's Star Island mansion. Now, his testimony painted a disturbing picture. He detailed the discovery of gun components, platform heels, and yes, a whole lot of baby oil, something that has come up again and again throughout this trial. Now, next up, the prosecution's expert witness, Dr. Dawn Hughes, a clinical and forensic psychologist who specializes in trauma. Now, her experience stirred immediate controversy, forcing the defense to try to block her from even taking the stand, arguing that she might overstep her role and introduce biased terms like coercive control and psychological aggression. However, the judge allowed it. Now, during cross-examination, Diddy's attorney Jonathan Bach went on the attack. He tried to paint Hughes as biased, highlighting that she never testified for a sex crime defendant, only for alleged victims. He even pointed out that she's trained victim advocates, questioning whether she could truly be neutral. Things got even more tense when Bach brought up the fact that Hughes met with prosecutors 6 times, suggesting that she may have even coached them. Hughes denied it, but honestly, she was not a good witness. Now, last to take the stand yesterday was Diddy's former personal assistant, George Kaplan. Now, he walked into the courtroom visibly nervous, likely because he was subpoenaed and may be considered a potential co-conspirator of Diddy's. Now, Kaplan signaled his intent to invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. However, in response, the prosecution suggested granting him immunity. Now, Judge Arun Subramanian approved the immunity agreement, which protects Kaplan from being prosecuted for anything related to his testimony. Now, this kind of deal is common when a witness may be involved in wrongdoing but has crucial information for the case. However, if Kaplan is found to be lying under oath, the immunity deal is over and he could still face charges. Kaplan acquired, supplied, and distributed illegal substances on Diddy's behalf and under Diddy's direction. He set up Diddy's hotel rooms in LA, New York, Miami. He also made sure he cleaned up those hotel rooms so Diddy wouldn't be found out. We are going to continue today with George Kaplan's testimony, but before we get into all of that, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this story and so much more. Now let's get back into it. Welcome to the trial of Diddy. So here we are, day number 9, and security is heavy in the courthouse, more than likely due to the presence of Kid Cudi. Now, before the jury is brought in, the government is objecting to Mr. Kaplan testifying about Miss Ventura asking for drugs in Boston. The judge says, let's get Mr. Kaplan back on the stand. Now, the witness enters and the jury enters. Kaplan acknowledges his obligation to testify truthfully and allows for this testimony to not be used against him. However, he is also aware that he will be prosecuted for perjury if he lies on the stand. Prosecution starts their questioning by saying, when did you carry cash for Mr. Combs? $50,000 on his private jet. Kaplan testified that one time in 2015, Combs' security staff asked him to hold $50,000 while they were on his private jet. Once they landed, Kaplan handed the money to the other security personnel. Did you pick up cash for Mr. Combs? Kaplan testified that Combs would have him get $10,000 cash from Western Union a couple of times. Kaplan would give the cash to Combs after he picked it up. What long-term relationship of Mr. Combs were you aware of? Cassie, Kim, Gina. Who was Kim? Mother of his children. Cassie, girlfriend. Gina, another girlfriend. So the jet flight to Las Vegas, what was the layout of the jet? 4 chairs, a partition. I had a partial view over my right shoulder. When you witnessed violence by Mr. Combs on Miss Ventura, why didn't you intervene? My career. Kaplan stated that he witnessed Combs being violent with Cassie Ventura one time in late 2015 on Combs' private jet. He testified that he heard glass break, and when he looked back, he said he saw Combs standing over Ventura, who was laying on her back with her legs extended up as if she was trying to create space between the two of them. Combs was holding up a Whiskey Rocks glass in his hand. After the glass breaking, what did Combs do? He came forward. Cassie stayed in the back. He asked me to get creams to conceal the bruises on her face. How did you pay for it? Corporate credit card. So after speaking about the 2015 private jet incident, George Kaplan talked about another time in which he says he saw Cassie Ventura with visible injuries at Combs' home. Combs had called Kaplan over an intercom system to meet him in the master bathroom, where he directed Kaplan to pick up over-the-counter products like witch hazel. Kaplan said he noticed that the products would make an anti-swelling agent. To get to Combs, he passed Ventura, who was crying on the bed with her head in her hands. She was visibly bruising on her face, and Kaplan stated that he stopped to talk to her to check on her. He left the house to get the items Combs requested at a nearby pharmacy, paying for them with Combs Enterprise Company credit card. So why did you leave Combs Enterprise? I didn't think I should be covering things up like buying witch hazel. Also, my father had prostate cancer. Any other violence? He threw things at Gina in the entryway of the main home on Star Island. What was he throwing? Green apples. How hard? Very hard. Kaplan testified that he once saw Combs throw a number of decorative or real green apples at another girlfriend, and that girlfriend happened to be Gina Hewen. This incident happened in late 2015 at Combs' Miami Beach home. Now, Combs was very angry and he was throwing the apples hard. She was trying to shield herself with her arms as she moved away from Combs. Kaplan testified that he did not intervene. He said that he was a young kid really trying to make it in the entertainment industry. Later, I took the medicine bag into their room. Mr. Combs wanted me to leave quickly. Then what? I heard Gina at the gate and male voices. Who? Security. Now, Kaplan stated that he gave notice that he was leaving the company in September 2015 and finally left in December 2015. Kaplan said that he spoke with Christina Coram, Combs' former chief of staff, after the incident with Gina, and also told her about the private jet incident involving Cassie Ventura. She said that she was very disappointed. Now, he said that he told Christina Coram that this was going to be the last straw for me and I was going to see my way out of this role over a period of time. Kaplan told Combs that he was leaving because his dad was sick, and Combs was extremely gracious, he said. He said that he last saw Combs before the pandemic. Kaplan kept in touch, he said, because I liked Mr. Combs and wanted to continue having a relationship with him. When you left, what did you do? I collected myself, then went to work for an integrated marketing firm. Now it's time for cross-examination. So now we have Mark Agnifilo, and he says, why did you work for Combs Enterprise? He was an incredible entrepreneur. I have learned from him. Kaplan states that working for Mr. Combs made my world so much bigger in such short period of time. Kaplan testified that he started working for Combs Enterprise in 2013 as an executive assistant to the chief operating officer and was promoted about 10 months later to Combs' executive assistant. Agnifilo said, what did Brian do as chief operating officer? Ensuring profitability of each unit. I was an employee when Revolt TV launched. Tell me about it. We were on the 6th floor of 1710 Broadway. Everyone was there. It was momentous. Diversity was important to Mr. Combs, right? Specifically for African Americans. What did Blue Flame do? Marketing for Ciroc. What is Diageo? They own Johnny Walker and others. Mr. Combs set up a marketing entity for Ciroc. Your job, what was it? For example, Mr. Combs would say, we're going to leave the house. He meant 3 to 5 minutes. I had a checklist for the bags and the toiletries. It was a bad look to me if something wasn't in there. When you work with Mr. Combs, part of the job, whether you're close with him or not, he has an extremely infectious vibration. You're around him and you feel his excitement. Is there a binder near you? I can't read that. It says Southern District. I'm handing you something to refresh your recollection. Take a look at it as long as you want to. You ran an off-site training and graduated from Harvard Business School. Also, Kenny Burns. I remember. You were effective, right? I worked hard. I don't know how you'll answer. Was it good or bad? Complicated. He didn't need to yell at you when you brought 2 waters. I worked hard. Describing their dynamic at the time, Kaplan says, I'm a young man, and this is a god among men. He said working for Combs was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and even though his moral compass pushed him to quit, he still wishes Combs well on his birthday every year on November 4th. Okay, who was Biggie? A huge rapper who unfortunately passed away. Wasn't Biggie's birthday a holiday at Combs' enterprise? Yes. Was it a creative environment? It attracted all kinds of creative people, lawyers, musicians, advertising people. A few specific questions. You used a corporate credit card, right? Yes. How did Combs pay? KK held his wallet with the Black American Express in it. You have no reason to think he kept track of how baby oil was paid for. No reason. Or applesauce? He loved applesauce. Oh, and cheeseburgers, right? Agnifilo smiled. Kaplan said that Combs' world was the size of the earth, explaining that his boss was dealing at a high level with business situations around the world, and Combs had employees who dealt with the finer details of finances and ensured that Combs had whatever he wanted. To think that he knew where some of these things were coming from is unrealistic. Let's talk about the plane. You heard glass breaking. You didn't see it? No, I didn't see it. The incident with Gina, you walked in the house, there's a thin table? I don't know. You don't remember how the person could get out of the gate at 2-Star Island. No, I just heard screaming and commotion. Screams of terror or how can I open the gate? I don't know how to distinguish between the two. He threatened your job, but did he threaten you physically? No. You talked about Kim Porter. How was she different? He had respect for her. They had incredible kids. Thank you. When you set up hotel rooms for Mr. Combs and Miss Porter, there was no baby oil, right? No, just lotion. You expressed caution about hotels. Why'd you clean up the room afterwards? Hotel staff would sell photos. Everyone wants a payday. You sent him a photo of him and Kim Porter? Yes, after she died. I was heartbroken for him. You were close. I invited him to my wedding. I didn't hear back. And although Agnifilo is the one asking the question, he says, objection. Everyone has these surprised looks. Agnifilo said, you respected him? Yes. Okay, now what is this a photo of? That's me and KK and Mr. Combs at Teterboro Airport. Just got the jet. That's why there's champagne. You're happy there, right? No, refresh it. It's that I was glad I had found the mascara in the back seat. So they found you and they subpoenaed you. I had to retain counsel right away. Kaplan testified that he desperately did not want to come today, but he was subpoenaed. He confirmed that he doesn't have anything against Mr. Combs. Agnifilo says no further questions. Judge says redirect. Prosecution says which incident shook you? The plane with Cassie and the apples with Gina. I felt guilty I didn't do anything after the incident with Cassie on the plane. But you didn't see any injuries? People can be injured without injuries being visible. Tonality and tension with the apples he threw at Gina, it was troubling. You told Miss Coram about both incidents? Yes, and I told her I am unwilling to stand behind this behavior, that I was quitting. Did Coram say that she would be quitting? No. How long did she stay after you told her? Until recently. Next witness. We call Scott Cudi, aka Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi takes to the witness stand in a leather jacket, a white shirt, and blue jeans. What did you do for work? I'm an actor and a musician, known as Kid Cudi. Who is this? In the photo he's shown, he says Cassie. We dated in 2011. Who else was she involved with? Sean Combs. What did you know about their status? That she and Sean Combs had some problems and they weren't dating anymore. In December 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? Yes, I had a break-in. Cassie called me at 5:30 or 6 a.m. She said Sean Combs has found out about us. Cudi admits that he was a bit confused because he didn't think that they were dating anymore. She asked me to pick her up, so I did. Why? She was worried. What was her demeanor? Stressed and worried. Where did you go? The Sunset Marquee. Why? I thought it was safe and off the radar. Cudi testified that after he picked Cassie Ventura up in December 2011, they went to a nearby hotel and spoke on the phone with Capricorn Clark, one of Sean P. Diddy Combs' employees. Clark seemed very scared, sounded like she was on the verge of tears, Cudi said. Clark told the two that Combs and an associate were inside of Cudi's house and she was in a car outside waiting for them. She says that she was forced to go along with them over there. On the way back to his house from the hotel, Cudi said that he called Combs. When Kid Cudi asked Combs if he was at his house, Combs said, I just want to talk to you. Cudi said, I'm on my way. I'll be right down. I'm over here waiting on you, Combs replied. When you arrived, what did the outside look like? Pretty normal. Any security cameras? Yes, I found out they weren't working, but the security cameras had been moved. Did you move them? No. What did the inside of your home look like? Gifts were open, some stuff I got from Chanel, and my dog was locked up in my bathroom. How did you usually leave your dog? I let him roam. How long had you had your dog? 3 years. What changes were behavioral of your dog after the break-in? Jittery, on edge all the time. So I got back in and I called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him. I wanted to fight him, you know. Did he answer? Yeah, he said, I'm on my way. I thought to myself, objection, says defense. Grounds, non-responsive. Overruled. Ask a new question. When you saw Cassie, how did she seem? Depressed? Did you see Cassie in Connecticut? Yes, she needed it. Did Mr. Combs call you? Yes, he hit me a few times. Hit? Call me. Cudi testifies that he spent the holidays with Cassie Ventura at her family's home in Connecticut. Combs texted him a couple of times while he was there. He said, I guess he was in the dark about things and wanted to talk. But at that point, post break-in, I didn't want to talk to him. You broke into my house, you messed with my dog, and I don't want to talk to you. Did you and Miss Ventura break up? Yes. What about your car? My dog's babysitter called me and told me my car was on fire. So the jury is shown photos of Kid Cudi's car after it was damaged in a 2012 fire. He said that he was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house at the time, about 45 minutes away from his home. His friend sent him photos of his damaged car in the driveway before he even got there. While on the witness stand, Kid Cudi describes the photos as the damage of the Molotov cocktail in my Porsche. It looks like the top of my Porsche was cut open, and that's where the Molotov cocktail was put in. He said that law enforcement found a Molotov cocktail in the driver's seat, but once he arrived at his home, it was kind of just burnt up on the ground near the vehicle. So who took these photos? Chip, a good friend and a collaborator. What was your reaction to your car being set on fire? What the fuck? Objection. Overruled. Now it's time for break. While on break, Judge Arun Subramanian asked Prosecutor Maureen Comey if they're still on track for the day. She said that the George Kaplan cross-examination took 3 times as long as prosecutors anticipated, but she says that she still thinks that they're going to get through all of the witnesses they expected to call by the end of the day. Okay, so now the jury is back and prosecution says to Mr. Cudi, was the damage on your car present before the call from the dog sitter? No. Did you think it was accidental or intentional? Intentional. Where did you last see Miss Ventura? At the Soho house. I'd reach out to Sean Combs and said, let's talk. This is getting out of hand. Combs' attorney still says, can we have a sidebar? Judge says, do you have an objection? Yes. Sustained. Disregard and move on. Who set up the meeting at the Soho house? D-Rock and my manager. What was Mr. Combs doing? Standing there looking like a Marvel supervillain. Then there's some laughter. Why he say that? He said, we were homies. You know that was my girl. What did you say? I thought you had broken up. Then Sean Combs offered me water twice. It was weird. Sean Combs being so calm. What did Cassie say? That we have fallen in love. Things happen. What did you say to Mr. Combs? What about my car? He said, I don't know what you're talking about. I walked away. Did you see Mr. Combs later? Yes, a few years later, also at Soho House. He said, I'm just sorry for all that bullshit. I was surprised, so I found peace with it. No further questions at this time. Mr. Steele, says the judge, I want to ask you some questions about your Porsche in 2022. Ms. Cudi said 2012. I apologize. You get a call about damage to your vehicle. Any surveillance photos? No, my dog's babysitter did send me pictures of the damage. The DNA taken. Are you aware it came back being a female? Objection, says prosecution. No foundation. Judge says sustained. Did you know that there were DNA results? I'll allow that, says the judge. No. Miss Ventura told you it was over. We just stopped talking. You told this honorable court and this jury that she played you. Yes, she played you and you had no clue. No clue. In 2011, you went on tour. Yes. 65 locations? Yeah. At that time, Sean Combs is an icon. Fair to say? Yes. You and Miss Ventura had a sexual relationship? Objection, says prosecution. Sidebar. After the sidebar, Ms. Cudi says, Mr. Steele, can I? Judge says, no, you can do that on the redirect. Steele says, do you want to tell me something? Ms. Cudi said, Sean Combs asked about me doing a song with Miss Ventura in 2010. Steele says, thank you. Steele also says, you believe that they left your front door unlocked? Yes. No forced entry? No. Just presents open, Door in the bathroom. I'm not belittling, just asking. You called Sean Combs? Yeah. He was calm? Yes. You went to see him. You didn't think he had a gun? I couldn't call it. You are a strong person. That's how you categorize yourself. Yeah, this crossed the line. Miss Ventura told you she was abused. Yes, but she never said she was sexually abused. She did not. You loved her? Tell me if I'm wrong. I did. You got played by the same person who played Mr. Combs, Cassie Ventura. In the 13 years since, have you ever been notified in California that there has been any more action on this car fire? No. Did Miss Ventura have multiple phones? I don't remember. 35-12. If I said it, I said it. Do you know what a burner phone is? Untraceable. The trespass, you call it a break-in. Miss Ventura told you she'd given your home address to Mr. Combs? Yes, in the morning. No more questions. Thanks. No problem. Judge says redirect. Prosecutor Johnson says, what did Miss Ventura confide in you about abuse? That he would hit her, sometimes kick her? The day of the break-in, was she carefree? No. What did Capricorn Clark tell you? Sean Combs and an affiliate forced her into a car to come to my house. I called the police. How would you describe Cassie that day? Just really shook. Him finding out about us. Why did your relationship with Miss Ventura end? The drama, it was getting out of hand. I wanted to give space. What drama? The break-in for my safety, her safety? Objection, says Steele. Grounds, says judge. Speculation. Overruled. Why did you have safety concerns? Because I knew Sean Combs was violent. Steele says, Your Honor, may we approach? So they have a sidebar. Prosecutor says, the meeting at the Soho house. Mr. Combs said, I don't know what you're talking about. About your car? Did you believe him? Objection, says Steele. Rephrase, says judge. What was your understanding? That he was lying. No further questions. Okay, so they go on break, but now they're back from break. And Prosecutor Comey said they want to put an exhibit showing Miss Ventura scantily clad. We think it plays into a stereotype that if she dresses like this, she must have consented to the freak-offs. Judge says, I only have the album cover. Defense says we can bring it up on the screen, and they do, but it's not for the public gallery. We have withdrawn some of the exhibits. It's rather about her career opportunities and the like. The judge says, what's the relevance of these exhibits? The next witness did Miss Ventura's makeup, but what's the purpose of the pictures? It's a 402 issue, first relevance. The defense says Miss Ventura testified about her career being impacted. Prosecutor says, I'll stipulate. The judge looks at a picture and says, this one is of a public event. So what's the problem? Prosecutor says, it's a low-cut dress. Judge says, I'm allowing it in, but not 652 nor 745. Bring in the witness and the jury. What's your name, says prosecutor? Mila Morales. I'm a celebrity makeup artist. Do you recognize anyone you've worked for? Sean Combs in the gray sweater and white collar. When did you work for Mr. Combs? 2000 to 2005. Then who? Rihanna? Who else? Jennifer Lopez, Cassie. When did you work with Cassie? 2007 until COVID. She was like a little sister to me. How much older than her are you? A few years. Did you see her with injuries on her face? 2010, Grammys weekend, Prince party. Where were you with her? Beverly Hills. I fell asleep in the room and woke up to commotion. Cassie walked in, then Sean asking, where the fuck is she? What did he do? Walked into the bedroom, shut the door. What did you hear behind the door? Yelling and screaming, both of them. Then Sean left. What did you see next? Cassie, she had a swollen eye and knots on her head. I packed up her things and we went to my house. Then my doctor friend came and examined her to see if she had a concussion. The doctor examined the injuries to Ventura's face, her stomach, and her ribs and recommended that she go to the emergency room, in which she declined. The police were not called. What were you afraid of? Sean, I feared for my life. Objection, says defense, moved to strike. Overruled. How long did she stay? Days. Have you ever done interviews about this? A couple. Were you paid? No. Did you provide evidence? Photos of me and Kim Porter, early 2000s. Were you paid? $1,000. No further questions. Cross, says the judge. Defense says, did you assist Ms. Ventura for any red carpet events? Possibly. And some music videos, black and yellow. Defense says, we have some photos. 647, please. There's a photo of a video shoot. The goal was that she looked put together? Yes. These photos show your artistry. You reposted them on Instagram? Yes. You were in her hotel room, though you lived near? Yes. You met Miss Ventura's family? Her father? You called a doctor and a lawyer. The lawyer lives in San Francisco. You provided emotional support. Yes. You did an interview with CNN and with Extra TV, Don Lemon and Pierce Morgan. Yes. Did Dateline reach out to you? I don't look at those anymore. Did you ask the government if you could do more? Look at this. So you asked for permission to speak with Dateline? Of course I asked. After the incident, neither Mr. Combs or anyone from his company ever approached you? No one did. For a documentary, were you paid? Therapy. You sold the photos to CNN for $1,000? Yes. No further question. Next witness, says the judge. So we have the next witness, Frederick Zamur, the general manager at the L'Hermitage Hotel. Why are you here? I received a subpoena. Are you familiar with the hotel's reservation system? We have a system called Opera. We enter in personal preferences. How long do you keep them? They stay forever. Who reserved this room for Sean Combs? Ryan Lopez. Also, other names were used. When was the profile first created? 2006. It said Sean Combs and Bad Boy Records. Then they changed it to Jackie Starr. Let's look at 2011 through 2012. This reservation, what's the bill? Over $2,000. It says only charge if Christina Coram approves. What were the instructions? Put room out of service for cleaning. Like the room hot, set it for 75 degrees.
A lot of heat.
A lot of heat.
Yeah.
Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat.
Please monitor outside his room, down the hall to spray air freshener. Always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oil. Place the room out of order upon departure for deep cleaning. Please authorize an extra $1,000 when guest stays with us to cover any room damages. What are these complaints? Candle wax on carpet, security call, charge $500. No further questions. Cross-examination? None. Next witness, Special Agent Josh Croft. Where do you work? HSI Homeland Security Investigations. I extract data from computers. What is your training? The SANS Institute. What does that stand for? I don't really know. They are opaque in a way. What tools do you use? TX1 and Digital Collector. Whose laptop did you extract? Cassie Ventura. This is a MacBook Pro, roughly from 2010, 2011, with a white case. Did you boot it up? I go to the MacBook factory default screen. But you got data? Yes, the hard drive had data not overridden by the factory reset. What is unallocated space? Something not viewable, something previously deleted. Explain how computers store data. You have a table of contents. A file can still be stored in unallocated space. So on these 3 laptops, how are they backed up? iTunes was used before iCloud. Some looks a little funky, but you can validate the funky, as you say, data by going to the raw data. Yes, nothing further. Defense says on one of the laptops, there was a Frank Black profile. Yes. Did you process every file? Yes. Have a wonderful weekend. Prosecutor says, Frank Black, did you proceed under Ms. Ventura's consent? Under warrant. Judge says no more witnesses. Jurors, I intend to release you early. Any objections? Everyone starts laughing. Don't read anything about the case. Go for a walk. Watch the Knicks avenge their game 1 loss. Then there's more laughter. And you must tattle. We're making great progress. All rise. Jurors have been sent home until Tuesday, so please enjoy your weekend. Now, Prosecutor Maureen Comey said the first witness that they'll call on Tuesday will be former Sean Diddy Combs employee Capricorn Clark. And after Clark, prosecutors plan to have witnesses from the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles Fire Department. Today was a lot, but we will talk about it down in the comments. So what I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything that happened in trial day number 9 of the Diddy trial? Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. As always, thanks for watching. But before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of my new episodes.